Welcome to another deep dive edition of the Chicks on the Right podcast. Today, before we get started, because Daisy's in a mood and we're going to tell you why. But before we get to the reason for her mood today, we want to remind everybody about our good pals at Acre Gold. And the reason we want to remind you about them is because you've probably thought, if you don't invest in gold already, you've probably at least heard some commercials about it or thought about it. And you thought, why should I do that? Well, the reason is because it's always a good idea to have a very diverse portfolio. And so you might have a 401k, you might have IRAs, you might have this and that. But if you don't have a little bit of gold, a little bit of precious metal, you're just not fully diversified. And Acre Gold is a great way to get diversified because they offer a subscription plan. You don't have to shell out a bunch of money at once. You can do a monthly subscription and then you earn the gold and they send it to you in the mail. And it's so handy that way. So check them out. GetAcreGold.com/chicks and start investing. It's a great hedge against inflation and against the markets. Just do it.
Yeah, especially when the markets suck. It is a good thing to do. Totally. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right. So what? You're mad.
Well, I saw this article yesterday and it just bothered me. Okay. Because I saw it was it's New York Post, and this is the thing. Like I read these things and then I'm like, why am I just seeing this? Like, I should be getting fed this by our politicians. Like, our politicians should be screaming this up at the top of their lungs and angry about it with me. And I haven't heard anything about this story since I saw it. And it was a 911 recording from a migrant bus. So, like, these migrants are angry. They're upset because they're on a bus to, I don't know, New York. I guess they're heading to New York City. And obviously this hits close to home because I'm in Texas and Governor Abbott is putting migrants, hundreds, not 2 million, but hundreds on, buses to places like DC or, New York City or whatever. So just to give these people just a little bit of a taste of what we're dealing with on such a huge, broader scale. Because we're being invaded here in Texas. Places like Arizona and Texas are being literally invaded by migrants. So by illegal immigrants, people who are pouring across our border illegally. So anyway, this individual calls 911 on a cell phone, presumably cell phone. So it makes you like they have.
Do they still give those out at the border to the illegals?
I don't know where they got the cell phone, because if you're destitute, like, and you have a cell phone, that is like I have questions. I have questions about that, right? So they have a cell phone. They call 911 and they're upset. It's in Spanish, so we can't play it because I would imagine that most people who are listening to this podcast can't understand it. But he and a large group of passengers wanted to get off in Tennessee because he said, I'm being held against my will. Well, so he's bitching and moaning about where he's going. He's bitching and moaning about being on this bus. And he's like, our families are waiting for us. They won't let us get off and they're holding us against our will. And he's mad, right? He said he's
mad about the free transportation.
Right. He's mad about the free and he said he was supposed to get off the bus in Chattanooga so he can go to the airport and join relatives already in America. He's like, we are immigrants that are being sent to different places in the US. Now the driver is telling us we can't get off until we get to New York. We are being forced to go to New York. I don't understand why. If I was told I would be getting off in Chattanooga. And so okay, so this, like, I was enraged by this yesterday because I'm like, you crossed the border illegally. So you broke the law and now you're pissed off because you're not being put up at the Ritz or getting like some sort of red carpet treatment, which there's a part of me that's mad at this person. But then there's also a part of me, I think a bigger part of me, who's mad because I'm mad at Joe Biden because Joe Biden is the one who got on the stage. Joe Biden and Kamala both got on a stage during their campaign and they promised these people everything. They promised these people the red carpet treatment, which now these people expect, right? They feel it as though they're entitled to just walk over the border and they're going to get all this free crap. This is what they expect. They expect the handouts. They expect the treatment. They expect all these wonderful things. And then they expect to be treated as if they are legal. And this is what people are, making them think. And they're not. And it's like this weird level of entitlement. And then our side, I think, at least a lot of the people that are in office right now aren't talking about this as much as they should be.
Well, and that's a whole other thing, right? The terrible messaging on the part of
Right.
our side
Right.
where they never capitalize on the things that actually matter to people the most. And going back to this clown that's mad in the 911 call, I
Right.
think no one puts it better than Jim Carrey when it comes to why this is a problem.
Right.
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
Yeah.
I mean, why is this hard? You don't get to be mad about where in our country you're being taken when you came into the country illegally. You don't get to be
Right.
mad about that.
This
You
is
jerk.
this is the thing. It's like, but this is where we've come to, like, over the past, I don't know, however many years, I don't know, since I was a kid. It used to be that you cross the border and it's like you would be in the shadows, like it was something that was it was bad. You were crossing the border and you were in hiding. Now these people are like calling 911 saying, I'm really pissed because I can't get off in Chattanooga. It's like they're not even hiding it. It's just like, and the left is delighted to be like, oh yeah, this, like, they're being mistreated somehow. They broke the effing law coming over here. Like, since when do we not have a little bit of shame attached to that? It's
Oh
like
yeah.
it's like everything else that we talk about when it comes to liberals and how they skew everything, and they've, because they have control of the narrative, right? Because this is what Democrats do. They take control of that messaging and then they massage it and they make it what they want it to be. And now they've created this messaging with illegal immigration where we're supposed to embrace people breaking the law. And if we don't embrace people breaking the law, then we're somehow racist. And
And it's worse than that, because it's not even that we're supposed to embrace them. We're supposed to feel badly for them and
right.
then give them more free stuff. So what happened with this particular busload of people that was full leaving Texas, it ended up in New York City with 5 people because the 911 call gets out, leftists lose their minds, the story, because like you said, they control the messaging. And so ultimately the police come, these people are let out in Chattanooga or wherever. 5 people get to New York City. So now Chattanooga, Tennessee, congrats, because now you are going to face the reality of what it feels like to have all these invaders taking over your social systems. It's
Right.
happening everywhere. And I don't
Yeah.
understand how there isn't a lawsuit or several against the federal government for not enforcing our laws. Every
I
time
don't
there's a
either.
crime or a murder or a drug overdose, someone should be suing the Biden administration for not
Exactly.
protecting the border. Why is this
Yeah.
not happening?
I don't understand
Why?
it either. And people are dying all the time from these fentanyl overdoses. I mean, it's just pouring across our border. Imagine if you were a parent of one of these kids who's dead from a fentanyl overdose. I mean, I would sue. So what the hell is going on? And again, you say, okay, so they've taken control of the messaging. Okay, so where are our people? Where are the Republicans on this? This is where I get so irritated, because you and I have been doing this for almost 14 years. Nothing has changed when it comes to
Yeah.
messaging. That's one of the things we talked about in our book, right? For a reason. We talked about the messaging and how we have to take control of the messaging, and how, we have to be involved in pop culture. We have to be on the offense and not the defense when it comes to messaging. We still have not done that. We still haven't done it. We're not winning. They are still winning. The Democrats are still winning when it comes to messaging. And so, and
it's why we
because,
get so excited about people like DeSantis who
right.
who do the messaging part so well, him and his
Right.
entire team. So we get
Mhm.
super excited about that, because unfortunately it's a rarity. It's like such a shiny new object when Republicans actually do the right thing, that we're like,
Mhm.
oh my God, we get so overwhelmingly excited about it.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Because he's not afraid to say, no, CNN, you're wrong. You're full of
Mhm.
crap. And I'm going to tell you why. He's not afraid to scrap. He's not afraid to get in there and go toe to toe with these people. And you own it. You have to own the messaging. You have to be on the offense and not the defense. way too polite as a party, and that has been to our detriment. And especially in cases like this, it's like, what is going on? We have all of these leaders who are silent on crap like this, and they should be using stuff like this in their campaigns. They should be using stuff like this to talk to the American people and say, this is what's going on. The only people that are talking about this crap are people at Fox. That's it. It's asinine that that's happening. I mean, the fact that I had to read about it in the New York Post. Okay, great. Well, the Post is, by and large, a conservative outlet. I mean, let's get real. So, I mean, I read about it there, and I'm like, okay, that should be a huge story. It should be a huge story that that somebody who broke the law is bitching about where they're being transported. I'm sorry, I don't care. I don't give two shits that you're upset, that you're like, I'm sorry, that you broke the law and that you expect me to pay for you as an American taxpayer who's already overburdened, by the way. And there are American veterans who are not getting what they need. And there are homeless people in this country, American homeless, who are not getting what they need. And you're bitching and moaning because you feel like you're not going to get the right bus stop because you have to meet your family. Maybe you should have thought about that before you broke the freaking law,
And you know what they're going to do next? They're going to be like demanding that they're entitled and have the right to Genucel skincare. That's what's going to happen next. Mark my words. And because it's never enough, right? It's never enough. They don't just want the $400 a night hotel rooms in New York City. They're going to demand the best skincare in the world from Genucel.com/chicks, because that's just the kind of people that we're apparently allowing to flood our borders. They're going to be saying, I want skin that looks like daisies and I deserve it. And so I'll have what she's having. And then they're going to have all the orgasm sounds about Genucel, and it's going to be mayhem and chaos.
Yes. Yes. That's what they're gonna do. That this is what's gonna happen.
And I don't blame them, honestly, because the most popular package from Genucel, you guys, like, it is that good. It does make you want to make all the sounds because it includes all the best products. It includes the XV cream, the anti-wrinkle treatment that is so soft and buttery and velvety. It includes the under eye bag. Like it takes care. Their under eye stuff is freaking amazing because of the stem cell plant therapy. They've got the dark spot corrector. They've got the ultra retinol. So many of the products that are curated in that most popular package are like mind-blowingly good. And right now, not only can you get 65% off of that most popular package, you will also get a complimentary gift set when you use code CHICKS at Genucel.com/chicks. I'm telling everybody that, except for the freaking illegals, because it's not yours.
Right.
You jerks.
It's not benevolence. It isn't. And so I don't understand why, Republicans, why conservatives can't message that well. It's not about that. I mean, they've got us by the short hairs when it comes to this. They really do. It's like they feel as though, and they've done a great job doing it, because they've made us all look like we are just these horrible, cold-hearted, racist, awful people that don't want immigrants coming into this country. It's not about that. I mean, your parents were immigrants, and I sure as hell I'm glad that you're here. It's like, I really am. I'm glad that you're I'm grateful every day that your parents came to this country and that they had your sister and you, because where would I be? Right. So, I mean, this is the thing. So people are grateful for immigration. People on our side are grateful for immigrants and immigration, legal immigration. And that they need to drive that home. It's just that I don't know how we need to get to the point where we are just better at the messaging, and we got to be on the offense. And I think it's because we just have a bunch of wusses in charge that are afraid to deliver that that they're afraid. It's like they're afraid to deliver the message. They're afraid to take control of it. We need more DeSantis's. We need more Kristi Noems. We need more of those people who are willing to say, no, I'm not a racist. I'm not a bigot, and I believe in immigration. I just believe in legal immigration. I believe in the laws of this country. I believe in this country, and we have borders. We actually have borders. A country without borders isn't a country at all. So, respect that. 2 million of these people have crossed the border this year. That's
in 1 year.
It's insane. It is
Actually,
insane.
you know what? It's good that you're saying that, because I've got a couple of clips from Tom Homan, who used to be at the DHS and in charge of border control. He's got just some astonishing numbers about this and just some stats. I got a couple clips of him talking about this just within the last couple days. Because again, it's not talked about enough. So thankfully, Fox has him on quite frequently to explain, listen, I was there. I know what this is about and how badly the Biden administration is failing America right now. Here is the first clip.
1,217 migrants died on U.S. soil since Joe Biden became president. And that was a number from a week ago, 1,217. And since they have several deaths every day, that is incredible. No one's talking about that. You know, he says his policies are humane. Over 1,200 migrants died on U.S. soil. Add to that over 100,000 Americans who died from fentanyl overdoses that's coming across the border. How does this administration stand up and look in a TV camera and say this border is secure when Americans are dying and a record number of migrants are dying? It doesn't make sense. It's this administration sending a false message to the American people. The truth is, this is the largest crisis I've seen in my 35 years of doing this job, and it's costing lives.
I mean, I don't know how you can get clearer than that.
Right, exactly. Well, Biden's not been to the border. He's not been there. So
neither is Kamala.
Right. And she's the border czar. Yeah. So like he's never been there. So he has no idea what's going on at the border, but yet they have control of the messaging. Again, it goes back to the messaging, right? And where the hell are all those celebrities? Where the hell is Alyssa Milano? Remember Alyssa Milano just whining, bitching, and crying when Trump was in office? Oh my God, kids in cages. Kids in cages. They all like freaked out. Remember? And now it's like women and children are being trafficked in record numbers. Where the hell are the celebrities? They are all just silent, completely silent. Where's the freaking messaging on that? That's what I'd like to know. Nothing, not a zilch.
Yeah, they're silent because they're perfectly happy as long as it doesn't happen in their backyard.
Right.
Which that's Governor Abbott's entire point about sending people on buses to other places, is to say, well, now it's in your yard and this is your fault. And so you're going to feel the consequences just the way that we have been for the past few years, because Biden refuses to accept the fact that we do have a border. He will not secure it. He's making it 10 times worse. And so good for Abbott for like trying to send that message. I wish that these people were not just bused to New York City and to just the general area of DC, but straight to the White House. Literally straight to the White House.
Yeah.
Here you go, Biden. Here's what you've created.
Or send it to Biden's beach house in Delaware, where, by the way, he's building a wall around that beach house that's costing $500,000 that's coming out of our pockets, out of our taxpayer dollars.
Even
Interesting
better.
how that works, right? Where walls don't work at the border. It's like he slashed that right when he got into office, because Trump is a racist for wanting to build a wall at the border. But he can build a wall around his beach house because, he needs to keep the riffraff away from his beach house, his precious beach house. These people are giant hypocrites. And again, that's the kind of stuff you're going to read about, and it gets just pushed under the rug, But can you imagine if Trump did something like that? Can you imagine if DeSantis did something like that? It would be all over the newspapers.
Yeah.
The hypocrisy would be just splashed everywhere because there's such a huge double standard. It's just like the DOJ. There's like a huge double standard in the way that they treat things. This is why we have got to pummel them with messaging. We have got to be like, 50 times harder than what we do now. We just don't do it, because we have like the Mitch McConnells who are turtle people.
Right.
That are just, they don't do a good job with this stuff. They're just very complacent and they like to be comfortable and they don't like to step outside their comfort zone. We've got to have more scrappers and fighters and people who are willing to go and do the hard work for the American people. And there's not many of them.
And that's why we latch onto them so the way that we do, because when we see somebody being tough and strong about it, it's like, oh my God, we want so much more of that. The only thing I've ever heard from Karine Jean-Pierre or Biden about this issue, when they are pushed on it, which is rare, right? Like it's rare for the press to say, why are you allowing 2 million people to illegally pour into our country? But when they do, all they ever say as their excuse is that Congress needs to do more immigration reform, which is such bullshit. All they have to do is enforce the freaking laws that are on
Right.
the books. And if
Yep.
they're not able to do it because of resources, then their job is to dedicate more resources. Stop sending freaking money to Ukraine and start securing our own border instead of Ukraine's border.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
the hell?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
stop hiring 87,000 IRS agents and hire 87,000 more Border Patrol agents, you know? That would be a good start. I know I get really tired of people. I see people too that'll just say, you know, our border laws are antiquated, you know? It's like, really? You know, because they wouldn't
They
be
were working
if
fine.
yeah, exactly. They wouldn't be if you'd freaking enforce them, you know?
Yep.
Have you maybe tried doing that? And then maybe they wouldn't be so antiquated. Yeah, I get a little bit leery of the people who say that. Yeah, that would.
Let's play this other clip from Tom Homan just with some stats about the just astronomical numbers, because it really is just mind blowing. Watch this.
It's a fake news release. You know, it's a fake story. I think they want to make Biden look like he's doing something on immigration because of the poll numbers, because of midterms. The bottom number, Katie, I got a few numbers here. Issuance to detainers by ICE for criminals down 46%. Removing criminal aliens from the country down 48%. The arrest of criminal aliens down 63%. And the Center for Immigration Studies gave a number yesterday, which is devastating. In 2020, last year under Trump, they were arrested 65,000. And these are people that are dangerous drugs, assault, sexual assault, robbery, homicide, kidnapping. They arrested 65,000 of them. Under Biden, they arrested 5,900. They're down
Wow.
90%. So the arrest numbers are down 90%. You add to that, the ICE released 14,000 criminals to the street last year because they were told to by DHS. And on top of all of this, the Office of Principal Legal Advisor, the legal arm of ICE, the attorneys that prosecute deportation cases, they have literally closed thousands upon thousands of cases. Just said, no, we're not going to deport them. We're going to end the cases. And they just stopped them. So this is far from true. ICE has been decapitated. Their numbers are atrocious. They've arrested less people than I've ever seen in the history of this agency.
God.
Yeah, and every single one of those arrests that they don't do, that's a face, you guys. That's a face of a person who has a crime committed against here or, you know, him or her. Think about that. That could be like your daughter getting raped. Think about that. That's a person. That is a family who's affected by that. Just think about that.
Well, and
Think
it's
about
why
that.
Tucker has been saying so often on his show recently that all Republicans have to do is drive home this problem with immigration and drive home the crime, because
Right.
those things are related, as you clearly just heard.
Yes.
There's no coincidences here that the reason for crime has a direct correlation to the number of criminals that we're allowing into the country.
Yeah,
So
but
if we could just focus the messaging on that, the Republicans would be in much better shape, but they always focus on the wrong shit.
Yeah, they do focus on the wrong shit. It's like, it's all about the messaging. They've got to get better with the messaging. I hope that they get their heads out of their butts and they start focusing on this stuff. I really do. Because I used to be like, oh, it's a shoo-in. You know, the country is a dumpster fire. It's a complete dumpster fire right now. I mean, how can we not win the midterms? How can we not win in 2024? How can we not? It's a complete dump. How can you look at this country and think, oh, I want the Democrats to still run it? It's like watching a company go in the toilet and being like, well, of course the CEO is going to still be in charge. No, I mean, of course that would never happen. That would never happen in the real world. But this is America we're talking about, where Democrats own the messaging. And you guys, oh my God, we have got to figure this out as a party. They have got to figure this out. They have got to like totally change course with the messaging. They have to. Yeah.
Because I don't know. A lot of these races coming up in midterms are way too close for anybody's comfort that's on the right.
It's stupid.
So, yeah, it's stupid, especially when this is a winning message. Everyone is concerned about crime.
Right.
So just freaking focus on the reasons we have it. This is not hard.
It isn't.
And you know
hard.
what else isn't hard is the decision to get yourself a MyPillow. Hello. You should always go and check out all the new stuff at mypillow.com/chicks, because they always have humongous sales on their amazing products. And right now, the sale happens to be on the Dream Sheets, which are freaking luxurious, crazy goodness. Once you go MyPillow sheets, you are not going to want to use any other sheets. I promise you. And Right now, they're on mega sale. Like, for example, a queen set, normally around $90, less than 40 right now for a set of queen size sheets. So get them while you can, mypillow.com/chicks. And you can use code chicks for buy one, get one offers on their pillows and on their towels, which are also amazing. mypillow.com/chicks. I'm so excited today because we have reviews.
Oh
And if
my
we
God, yay.
haven't reminded people in a while, that it would really help us out a lot if you could leave us a review and a comment on the Apple iTunes podcasting platform. If you like the show and want to tell us about it, we would really appreciate that. So we've got a couple today. This first one is from Panda Deb, who says 5 stars. And then she says, always 110% absolutely right. Great info and always 110% absolutely right. You rock. And then from AJ Eagle Pack, 5 stars all day. Strong conservative women who know how to break down the stories and make people laugh. And then from Harold Ann, from August 1st, it says, regarding today's podcast, August 1st, I was just wondering why someone doesn't stand up and call KJB a liar to her face. Oh my God, this girl is such a smug little piece of crap. Anyway, I would, but that's just me.
Yeah, they won't let us in the press corps room. They're not going to let us in there. It's not going to happen ever. No.
Best we can do is Peter Ducey, you guys.
Right.
It's the best we can do right now.
Right. Those are really good.
They are. So please do us a favor and leave us a review if you can on the iTunes Apple podcasting platform. Thank you so much.
I love that. That's fantastic. And you guys, make sure that you check out our website. That's where all of our stuff is. You just go there, bookmark it, and you can find everything there. All of our socials are there. Basically, our podcast is there. That's the nucleus for the chicks, and it's chicksontheright.com. So go there. And go there every single day. Chock full of information. We have great writers. Mock and I write there every single day. So go there every single day. chicksontheright.com.
Every single day. And we will talk to you next week.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Bye.